99, 100! Here you go.
Here we go.
Hello and welcome to We're Not Wizards, the 100th episode, kind of.
I thought we were only doing 3.
That's what you roped into. Well, that's the contract that you signed, but you didn't sign in the small print. My name's Richard, and joining me
is Colin.
It's been far too long.
Do you mean it's
not been that long at all, is it? It's just that I keep putting out these stupid number of episodes. I'm going to shift the mic slightly and put my show notes somewhere else, because this is it's not a live episode. It's live as we're recording it, as opposed to pre-recording it and going back with a kind of a nonsense. How are you?
I'm alright, how are you?
I'm very good. Happy birthday.
Cheers, thanks.
Happy birthday to you. Do you know what? There's a previous episode where it was also your birthday as well.
Is there?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Can't remember which episode it is, but there's definitely an episode where it's like, it's your birthday.
Nice.
So it's like, it's almost like a yearly thing.
Yes.
It's almost like a year since we kind of spoke and mentioned it's your birthday. It's
about once a year your co-host actually turns up?
It was like no, that's not talk. That's been like 12 months since the last time you had a birthday.
Yeah, it's been about that.
It's uncanny.
Right, totally.
It's almost like it's a regular thing.
I'll try and keep it down to once a year.
I think otherwise you get a bit tired.
Yeah.
Anyway, for those who are joining us for the first time, thank you very much for joining us. Yeah, settle down. I hope you have a nice cuppa. I've got a nice cuppa. Have you got a water with you?
I do have water.
Yes, and I did have some ginger snaps, but I've eaten them all.
Oh no!
Yay! The reason that we do this is because there are quite simply not enough podcasts out there about board games.
No board game podcasts.
No. And the other reason...
Very few, middle-aged white chaps talking about special interest topics.
Well, you're middle-aged now. I mean, before it was the middle-aged one and the younger one. And now you officially join our ranks.
So. Have I grown so old?
I've got your cardie. Do you like it?
Yes.
Was it comfy?
Yeah. Where's my flat cap?
I've also got your pipe and some slippers.
Oh.
Which is kind of weird because you're just not going to fit in if you're kind of wearing that stuff. And the other reason that we do this is because it's 100th episode, so there's no way I'm going to do a show and not have Colin on it. It's as simple as that.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
He couldn't get any better guests.
I couldn't. We've run out of guests. We've done all of the available guests. You know what I mean? So after we did, after we had Graham on, or Graham's going to be coming on, it kind of just went dry. Mm-hmm. There's not an awful lot more we can say. So I guess we better kind of jump in with kind of what we've actually got to the table. And
nothing.
Absolutely
nothing.
Simply nothing at all. What have we been playing? A couple of weeks ago, I played around with a bit of Quantum, which is...
I did look over it. You standing there with spherical dice in your hands.
I was very pleasantly surprised.
Or cupular dice. It would be stupid if they were spherical.
Because it would just roll over the table. That would be a D100, wouldn't it? A weighted D100? Is there such... Is there a D100?
There's D100s.
I'm just shows my...
They look stupid, so everyone just uses 2 D10s.
Oh, okay. I suppose. I suppose that would make sense, yeah. No, so Quantum is a game about taking over planets and using dice in order to take over the planets. And place your little marker in the middle of the planets. And every face of the dice is obviously a number. But that number represents...
6-sided dice.
6-sided, D6. See how technical I am now.
Woo.
I know it's 100 shows. Just check out my technicalities. And the idea is that when you roll the dice, you allow you to do different things. So it gives your dice that particular ship's power.
Yeah, well, but you initially roll the dice, and then that dice becomes that ship. So If just off the top of my head, one is like the battle station.
It's like a space station, yeah.
Kind of think more of like a Death Star than a...
Yeah, it kind of moves one space, but it's very, very good at kind of like kicking people's butts. And then there is there's ships that allow you to change from one ship to another.
Yep.
You've got the number 3, which is almost like a warp type ship, which allows you to swap places with another one. So the nice thing is that each of these ships has got the ability to have different skills, and the idea is that you're meant to get you've got each of these lovely planets, and each of the planets has a number value. And in order for you to get around to take over a planet, you've got to equal the number. Which
with your ships, you can't be over it, can't be under it.
You can't
got
be
to have
through
the
it.
exact number.
You can't be next to it. You got to be on the nose. And if you're on the nose, you get to take a little cube. You get to put it on the planet. You get to claim it as part of yours. And then you've got to get so many cubes on so many planets, and then you kind of win the game.
But there's other ways to win, though.
Yeah, are there?
Yes, well, you can do the... well, when you go into combat, you can win. Is it domination points?
Yes, you've got to get...
And then you can convert domination points into victory points. You can win that way.
Yeah.
And to make the game replayable, so there's lots and lots of replayability in this game, there is special cards that you can purchase through the game.
Yes.
And they all give you a new ability, like you don't lose your ship if you lose combat and things like that, which all quite makes the game have masses of replayability.
And the other thing is as well is that you're not laying out like a game board.
No.
You're laying out each of the planets is on like a tile, which is about, say, it's probably about maybe 8 or 9, 10 centimetres by 10 centimetres square.
Yeah,
they're not that big. But you can put the tiles into different configurations, so you can just have them as a 3x3 and have a basics field. But it gives you the option. You get quite a lot of different tiles in the box. And it gives you the option to put it like a diamond shape, or put it like a T shape, or put it like an X shape, or put it... You can basically throw it down however you want, and then that means that you've got different ways that you have to travel in order to get about, in order to kind of hit the planets. The good thing is that you've got the option to put action points into increasing like research.
Yes. Yeah.
And then once you get a research, it gives you like a card. And your cards are they're down into two things. You're either got something that the effect happens straight away.
Yep, instance or...
or you've got...
permanent changes to your faction.
Yeah, you put them at the side, and then they have a definite effect. So one of them might be that when you're rolling into battle, all your ships are always equal to 3 in terms of their additional attack. Or it's a card that says when you go into battle, you can force your opponent to re-roll their dice again.
So he might have rolled a ones, and then you go, no, re-roll that.
Yeah, I think because, and this is where I'm going to either sound like I've remembered or my old middle-aged brain has forgotten. Is that in combat, it's the lower person
it's the
wins.
Lowest number wins. So that's why the battle station, because it's 1, is the best ship in your close combat.
He's a Death Star. He's gonna kick butt, and he's not got the exhaust ports.
No,
which is good.
It is good.
You don't
want to be beaten by no 6s.
Absolutely, but they're kind of quite flighty little kind of ships.
Well, they're scout ships, and they can move up to 6, so they can zip round the player mat if you needed them to.
You don't need that nonsense.
No.
I was watching something today about, you remember there's these things on YouTube about how certain films should end it?
I think so.
And they have like cartoon variations of how like Return of the Jedi should ended. And they've got the Emperor turning up, and he's saying, "You tell it, like make sure.
Yeah.
See when we did the last Death Star, yeah, you had an exhaust port that was big enough to fit some missiles down it. Tell me this time that you've put grates over the top or something that they can't bomb." It says, no, what we've decided to do is we've decided to, we've got rid of that completely. There's no exhaust ports. But instead, there are 2 big channels which are big enough so an entire starship can fly and actually get to the main reactor instead.
But witness the power of this operational battle station because it's being constructed at the time.
I know. So they need to
for
do that.
Independent contractors.
It's like an access way, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's like the dirt road going into the housing state. You're obviously going to get access to the main reactor if you go down that. It depends. Maybe it was Bellway that built it.
Well, I thought you were going to say, Denise all like, no, join the dark side, Luke. And Luke's all like, aye, go on then.
Yeah, let's crack on with that.
Fine.
Or the one about when they go to Jabba's palace and they like throw a thermal detonator in. Leia just goes in and starts chucking thermal detonators about. Just kills Jabba. And it looks like, I was going to go for a really elaborate plan. It's like, no, mate.
Well, it's a thermal detonator, and your hand's already in kryptonite.
Carbonite.
Dear God.
That's a completely different film. Woof. Wrecked it there.
How many franchises can we get sued by?
As many as well we know. I mean, we're an established...
And this is all in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
With Spock saying the Force is strong in this one. So, Quantum, it's good fun. It was really, really easy to learn. I had a good time with it. We lost. I lost spectacularly.
You lost, did you?
Well, I lost enough. I wasn't the first person to get to the planet.
That's another thing to mention about the game. It's blisteringly fast. You can rattle through a game in 45 minutes, an hour. Easy. Yeah. And that's with 5 players.
Once you get
4 players. It's 4 players, isn't it?
We had 5, I think we tried.
It does go up to 5.
Yeah, it does, yeah. It was good fun. It was a good fun. It was a good game. It was enjoyable. Would I play it again? Yes, I would.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And we'll stick a little note in the show notes. Have you been playing anything recently?
Yes, but
tell me.
I've been playing a lot of Star Realms with you.
Who you with me?
With you.
And which version of Star Realms have we been playing?
The base set mainly.
We have, and we've been playing both card, and we have also been tripping into the apps stuff. And we were.
And you know, I've actually come to the conclusion I prefer the app over the physical.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, seriously.
Can I just say something? Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I'll tell you what. A little story is that me and my son were sitting there playing Star Realms.
Yep.
And he went, "You've got this on your phone." And I was like, "Yeah, I do have this on my phone. Should we do a pass and play version instead?" And I was like, "No, we stick to the cardboard because we're not going down the app route." And do you know, and we did. And do you know what the worst thing about it was? Remembering trying to subtract numbers when switching the cards around to remember how many many points you had left. Yeah. But also having to meticulously go through the cards and figure out when you were using the same faction and you got like the double points and stuff like that. So that was quite
so I'm normally. Have we talked about Star Realms?
We didn't. We were going to speak about Star Realms last time, but we said we were going to save it for this.
Right.
We're going to save it for this particular show.
Right. So what is Star Realms?
Star Realms is a tactical card game, which is a deck building game.
Deck building, yep.
In which you and me go up against each other and
head to head. Only 2-player game, unfortunately.
I have seen people try and play it.
There is weird variants, but from what I've heard, it doesn't work.
No, because they've
got a Kickstarter out just now, or it's just ended.
It's just finished, called
Frontiers, which is to turn the game into a 4-player.
Yes, which I'm interested to see how that kind of works. The idea behind Star Realms is quite simple, is that you start off with a really rubbish set of cards.
You start with 8 cards that only give you one money each.
And 2 cards which allow you to...
that do 1 damage.
Yes. Yeah. And the idea of the game is to buy more superior cards, which allow you to do more damage, or increase the amount of money that you've got, or increase the amount of authority that you've got, because you don't start off with... So you don't start off with authority. So you don't start off with life points, you start off with authority.
Yes, yeah. Which is basically
it's life points.
It's even green. Come on.
Exactly. You automatically call it life points. You took 15 life points off me with that. You're going to call it life points no matter which way you kind of look at it. It's absolutely ridiculous.
And then there is 5 cards put down in the middle. And first person gets 3 cards.
Yes.
And second person gets 5 cards. And then after the first round, the first player gets 5 cards as well.
Yes.
It's just because it's such a tremendous advantage going first.
Yes, it is.
Because you see those first 5 cards.
And then you can just go ahead.
You know, if you got a full starting hand of 5, you would be at such an advantage, you would always win.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whereas starting with just the 3, it limits on what you can buy.
You can get sometimes you can get lucky.
You can
get very, very lucky. It's how they've kind of kept it simple, because unlike, say, well, I guess like most kind of deck building games, you have factions. But what they've done with Star Realms is, and especially in the base game, they've kept it kind of elegant to the number of kind of factions that there are.
Yeah.
Colin knows the name of the factions over. Look, don't stare at me like that. He's like that. What? You're dropping me in it. You've got the red guys.
That's the
machine boys.
Machine cults, yeah.
And what they do is they basically allow you to scrap hands, scrap cards in your deck.
They have a few cards which are damaging.
Yes.
A few cards which are allow you to use everyone else's abilities.
Yes.
But the main thing with their faction is that being able to remove a card from the game.
Yes, which is very, very important, because unlike a lot of deck building things where you're wanting to try to build up a really big deck, this allows you to streamline your deck.
It takes those starting cards out of your deck of cards, which makes your deck of cards average out to be a better hand each time you draw your hand.
Absolutely.
Till the point where you've got rid of all the base cards, and then you're just laying down the cards you've bought, which are normally a lot better cards.
It's just pain.
Yeah.
Have some pain. Have some more pain cards. There is a point, obviously, that you don't want to maybe not go all red cards.
No, because they're quite low damage.
Yes. So you'll end up with a very, very lean deck, but you'll end up to the point where you don't really want to scrap anything else in your hand, because you're just scrapping kind of nonsense. Then you've got the yellow boys.
The yellow ones, they are the Imperium.
I think they are the Imperium, but other yellow faction names are available. Basically,
if you want, it's your show, Richard.
It's not my show. Don't let this on me. But basically, the guys in the yellow, they have a thing where what they like to do is they like to make the other player discard
their
hands.
Big thing is going down the force your opponent to discard a card.
Yes.
And also drawing cards is their big thing.
Yes. Because once you draw your 5, every time you're playing, you're drawing 5 cards. Yeah.
Just like the machine cult with its removing a card from the game.
Yeah.
Having cards which allow you to draw cards means you cycle through your deck faster. So that means you get the cards you've just bought into your deck faster. Because when you buy a card, it doesn't go into your hand, and it doesn't go into your deck.
No.
It goes into your discard pile.
Yes.
So it's not until you've completely gone through your deck that cards you've bought then are added back in.
Yeah. Which is why the yellow guys are so powerful, because what they're doing is if you're forcing somebody to discard hands back into their discard pile, it's going to take them longer to get through their deck again. Basically, they're not enjoying the use of the cards, which is a bit, which is how it plays. Then you've got your blue guys.
It's the Federation.
The good old Federation.
And they are the only faction in the game where you get authority back.
Yes,
which makes them important to pick up as well.
Yes, it allows you basically to almost defend yourself as required. So you can usually it's a mixture between allowing you to either gain authority or attack, or gain authority and gain some extra resources that you can buy cards. And you can, so you get a choice. You can string. They allow you to get to the point where you're going back above the 50 point. You can actually go back above the 50 points as well.
Yes.
So you can build your hand up. So your guy could be sitting there. Yes, he's able to take damage, but he's able to take a lot more damage because within the next couple of turns, he's putting himself back up by 2 or 3 points.
A game I was playing with a poor chap, and by the time I beat him, I was up at like 78 life. It's like this is nasty. I know, I can't help it.
And our final boys are the blobs.
Yep.
They're blobby because they're probably the only organic type ships.
They're all organic typey ships, so.
And they rain down with pretty much the Hellfire. A lot of them. They're
your hard hitting cards. Most of their stuff is all high damage.
Yeah.
Or scrapping things from the 5 cards to buy, which is a great way to deny your opponent if you see he's gone for a particular fashion.
Yeah.
And you have these cards that allow you to scrap the communal cards.
Yeah.
You can go, all right, he's buying all yellows.
Yeah.
I'll just destroy that yellow card. You can't
do.
buy the yellow card now.
You've got 2 types of cards as well. You've got your fighters, what they call, and then you've got your base. Is it base? They are called bases, aren't they?
Oh yeah, base stations.
Yeah. And what happens is that your fighters will sit in you'll play your fighters kind of there and then.
Well, it's mainly just ships, really. They're called. Yeah.
And then you'll get your bases that you play.
And bases stay.
Yes.
At the end of your turn, a base will stay out.
Yes.
And then there's 2 types of base that you have.
Yes, and what are those?
They're the ones with grey shields and ones with black shields.
Yes.
If it's got the black shield, it means when your opponent does damage to you, he's got to attack the stations first.
Yes.
And if it's got a grey shield, I was nearly going to say green there for some unknown reason.
We have to stop the entire podcast if you did that. It's a major mistake. It's not like we edit.
No, dear God, that's work. We're not here to do work. And the grey shielded ones, you've got the choice of whether your opponent attacks the grey shielded one or just attacks you.
Yeah.
And sometimes I remember a game with you where you just kept on beating at me, and you eventually won because you wouldn't destroy my stations.
No. I just kept because and there's 2 reasons to have the bases, as well as having the bases just there for defense sometimes because they're there to always give you points and stuff. When every card or most cards have a kind of, they have their main action
ability,
but then they have a secondary ability. And what a secondary ability does is it might be, the secondary ability might allow you to have more damage. The secondary ability might give you more life, the secondary ability. What it does is, it doesn't have to be a base and a ship card. It can be 2 ship cards or it can be 2 base cards. It allows you to go ahead and stack up the damage, especially like on the yellow faction. Sometimes the draw card is the secondary ability. Sometimes
some of the more expensive cards, you make your opponent drop a card is the secondary ability.
Yeah. So. There's obviously the famous kind of things like the kind of the mech world, which says you can, it doesn't matter which faction card you're playing.
Yes,
you're automatically going to unlock the ability. I cannot stress. Me and Colin will agree with me. I'm going to speak, on behalf of my Colin and I, that this is a fantastic game.
It's good, yeah.
I mean, it is a rabbit. It's a rabbit hole of a game, in terms that it's very, very easy to get started and play it, and then especially if you've got the app. And I think this is maybe the first time that you and me probably would say, if you're wanting to really get into this, getting the app is probably a really, really good idea.
Yep. Yeah, I would go down that route.
I think for me, it's the ability for me to be able to multiplayer side of things.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about bringing out a deck of cards and saying who wants to play. If somebody's got a phone, you've got a phone. I mean, I play regularly with you. I play a lot with the guys from the Staying In podcast. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sam Turner, Chris, and Peter. If he hasn't deleted, he's actually deleted the app from the phone because he says he was playing it so much. He says, like, Pete, do you want a game? No, I've deleted it. I was putting too much money into this. He's just listened to his episode recently. He says, no, he says he's an enabler. He encourages people to get an app. And then 3 weeks down the line, he'll disappear because he's like deleted it off his phone himself. But, and then there's a friend of the show, Graham, Boardgames. He plays a mean game. I'll have to connect you two up together because he just does he plays a game. He's very, very good at what he does. He's very, very good at what he does.
Yeah. That is the one failing of the physical game, I think.
Yeah.
Is the shuffling.
Oh, yeah.
Because, every single time you go through your deck, that you've got to sit and shuffle it.
Yeah.
Which, if you're playing against a card shark, he's going to make sure his good characters are... Yeah. His good cards are mysteriously going to be at the top again.
Exactly. Hey, look, 3 aces. But you've just discarded 5 aces in the last play. And
the basic mathematics of it, when things are proxing and then you're like, all right, that's 15 damage I've done. Oh no, that should have been 18 damage.
Yeah. And there's sometimes you have to go back and say, but what we'll do is next time we'll play the game, we'll make sure that we include that kind of rule and that kind of count instead, because it can be quite easy to miss out on stuff, especially when it comes to like drawing cards. You've almost got to like kind of go along your row and check the first level of kind of damage and actions, and then go along and check if anything that's linked up is damage and actions, and then you go, oh, I forgot I've got the base here. The number of times, I guess, you had the base there and you forgot that you automatically were adding authority or you were adding money and you had a choice over the two. That was the only thing I would say about the physical kind of game. The other thing about the app, I guess, is you also get access for a fee to play all of the expansions that are available on it as well. So, which is always very, very, very good.
That does bring into the cost. The cost for the physical core set is it's about £10 or £12, isn't it?
Is it worth it?
I like that sort of deck building game. Yeah. So
I played it with my son as well, and he's like, basically, if we're not playing anything else, then it's one of the games that he's coming back to kind of like again and again and again. So I must say, in terms of a positive way of looking at it, he's kind of really liking it.
Yeah.
So it's thoroughly enjoyable.
If you've ever played a game like Dominion, then you'll pick up Star Realms straight away, because Star Realms is like a very simplified version of Dominion.
But it's very, very easy. It's easy to pick up, but it's very difficult. Mm-hmm. I am still at the point, I guess, where I think I am... I think I'm still at the point where I'm learning. And
you're definitely better than you were.
Because what happens is, like, I'll play a game of Colin and then I'll win, and I'll not hear anything. But if I lose, I'll get, oh, bad luck, old chap. You should maybe mix and match. It's like kind of competitive dad in the fan show. Now, let me tell you where you went wrong, kind of thing, which is always kind of good fun. Apart from that, you went LARPing.
I did go LARPing.
How was that?
It was good fun. Sounds a bit weird when you say I was running around a forest hitting people with foam sticks, but...
Is it foam? Do you not get real swords?
No, we don't have real swords. Dear God.
Why not? I can imagine that would add a bit more of a challenge.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
I
definitely.
think it would be good fun.
I'm non-com. It's fine.
Is it a case of running around and beating... Do you get people that cheat and pretend that they've not been injured? Or is it a case that you just go around hitting folk and then they're dead?
Well, it's an honour system, so...
Alright.
It's like airsoft.
Alright.
The amount of people, like if it's some tryhard and he's like, no, I'm not going to take that hit.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you? Do you get some people that just roll in, they go in for the glory of battle, the last final kind of charge? Ah, I'm going to kill you all! Stab, stab, stab. Ah, and they want to die a good death, yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
Did you win?
Well, it's like a role-playing game. There's
come
never
on,
an end.
Here we go.
There's
The
never an
excuses.
end to it.
The excuses. Here we go. Did you win?
Of course I won.
Of course you won. You won against
It's me and I enjoyed it, so I must have won it.
You won against every single person on the battlefield. You went about like Rambo.
So the game has been going on for the last... must be coming up for like 15, 20 years.
Really?
Yeah.
That's phenomenal.
And my group, that I go down with, we did something that changed the rules for the entire game, and they added it in.
Really?
Yeah, we invented gold weaponry, and they actually added it into the rule book. No. So it's like cold iron, silver, because like silver to kill werewolves and things like that, and gold weaponry. And I was like, oh my God.
That's it. We've done it. We've succeeded.
Yeah.
I can put that on my gravestone.
It's all because I play this silly pompous lord that wants to have more bling than anyone else, so I wanted a gold sword.
Do you realise that gold is no good as a weapon? You realise it's soft like butter. It's soft like butter.
It's worked into the metals.
So right, so it's fine. So you can go about and kill something. Or the foam. Was it gold foam? Did you spray paint it gold?
I had a sword made for 120 quid.
You had a what? You had a sword made for it?
Yeah.
Well, that's
it's
fantastic.
upstairs, so you can't really see it.
Is it? Oh, you need to
It's up in the loft. So.
Oh, it's in the loft, so I can't get access to it. Oh, you need to let me see it so I can take a photo.
Mm-hmm.
You have to do it. This has to be done. This has to be done. Other games that we've been playing, but LARPing sounds fun. I was asked about going, and then I just thought, I'm going to have to sit down with my wife and explain I'm going to
just bring her along.
Run about the woods and hitting people.
I actually think, and I genuinely mean this, that it is a brilliant holiday.
Yeah.
Because it's a holiday without these silly little mobile phones or computers or anything around you. And you're forced into having nothing but social interaction with everyone around you.
Oh my goodness.
And it is just absolute brilliant mental reset.
Allows you to
absolutely
have your only thoughts except your thoughts and get rid of
you're not playing you as well. So you're having a wee holiday from yourself.
Oh, that's this is amazing. What are you doing? I'm having a little holiday from myself. This is like, you know what I mean? I've been to paradise, but
I'm not Colin with the mortgage and
exactly.
everything else. No. I'm playing this
what
character.
What's your lord called? What is his name?
Oh, he's Marcus Don Herrera.
Did you put on an accent?
He has this ridiculous accent,
that kid's a brings it full circle. Goes, Mass Moviecide call us Ricardo and Carlos. Say Ricardo. Oh my goodness, this is fantastic. I'm so glad we brought this up. Is there photographs of you in your armour?
I don't think there's any photographs of me, because I didn't do very much that weekend apart from sit and get drunk.
Oh my goodness. You just like telling people what to do. You go fight him over there. Is that what you're doing?
Pretty much, yeah.
Is that what you're doing? Did you always have that?
I'm the dawn of a noble house.
Were you in the full accent thing all the time then?
Yep.
Were you? Totally. You didn't break out of character.
Oh,
you're like Leonardo DiCaprio.
Every now and then you break out.
Oh my goodness!
But you try and stay.
This is like a whole new light. We have to just we'll do another. We're going to do a whole podcast.
Can't believe we've never talked about it.
I can't believe we've never talked about it either. This is absolutely ridiculous. So LARPing, there will be a LARPing special.
Maybe.
Well, I think, was it Trace? The last person I spoke to about LARPing was Tracy from Chaos Cards. So get her back. Maybe ask her back on.
Yeah,
Hi Tracy, if you're listening. I hope the shop's going really well. I heard lots of lovely things about the new Chaos Cards retail shop. It's all very good. Other games that we didn't touch it on very quickly, I guess. Played Viticulture with the kids.
Yeah, it's a solid game.
They loved it. They really, really liked it.
Did they take it up?
They played it. They they liked the mechanics, and they thought, "Oh, this isn't spells and wizardry and killing people.
It's the exciting world of making wine, children."
Exactly. And it's like, "Oh, can we have a glass?" No, you can't, but you can play this.
It's mine. Grow your own.
Exactly. I played a bit more of the Dark Souls board game.
Mm-hmm.
I've been playing a bit of single player of that.
Now, I've played a wee bit of that. I don't know if I liked it or not.
It's been very Marmite. Because I know that Jeremy Greer, who is continually... He's no longer the worst, unfortunately. He turns out to actually be quite a nice guy. He doesn't like it at all.
Yeah.
Whereas I know that Gordon at the club...
Gordon loves it, but Gordon loves the computer game version.
Yeah, he does. He loves it, and I think that helps him to embrace it. I myself have played quite a few solo games now.
I find it as... I'm probably going into the wrong mindset when I sit down and play it, because I'm expecting a sort of dungeon crawling.
Yes.
And I'm expecting that, right, I'll move my character here, here, and here.
Yes.
And the game just is not designed around that at all.
No, it's not.
Very simplistic when it comes to actual movement.
Yes, it is.
Do you know what I mean?
And it's a case of you trying to get an advantage, and it's mixing up being the first player, the player with initiative, because that has a direct effect on how you get attacked and who attacks you.
Yeah.
So it's very, very kind of interesting in that. I'm plodding along with it.
I've not enjoyed sitting down playing it.
Yes.
I just wouldn't be my first thing off the shelf.
I said to David Carroll when I spoke to him in the interview that I think it's a game you have to be in the mood for. I think you have to be ready to.
So you sit down with like someone like Gordon and you get enthusiastic because Gordon's enthusiastic.
Gordon loves it. He's really, really enjoyed his time with it. I think he's really, really looking forward to the next wave, which is coming out very soon. His
mates, like John and Matt, they all
really. But then when he was teaching the rules, he's got to the stage where when he's teaching the rules, I don't think he's house ruling it, but he's got a way of explaining it that the person kind of gets it straight away.
Yep.
I think if you're moving this from a dungeon crawling perspective, from a normal dungeon crawler, and you're expecting dungeon crawler, I think you're going to have a bit of a tough time trying to get your head around Dark Souls.
He was able to explain it to Noah and her sister.
Yeah.
And they were able to pick the game up just like that.
Yeah, it was really...
And they seemed to have fun playing it, so...
It's really cool. Other games worth a mention, I guess. Space Crusade. Got that to the table.
Wow, is that re-released?
No. Was it the original? Yes. Was I fulfilling a wish for Scott and Andy? Yes. Did they really have an awful lot of fun?
No.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
they did. They said they really liked it. Would they play again? No. Yeah, they probably would.
Yeah.
Milton Bradley, Space Crusade, 1992, absolutely fantastic. It was lovely to get it back to the table. Simplistic miniatures.
The amount of plastic you got in that thing was immense.
It was almost like I was tempted to do that. And the best thing about Space Crusade is the box. That kind of video, which I watched again. You see the Heroquest one?
No.
Oh, I'm gonna have to show you after we record, because it is absolute. It's a guy that says about the best things about HeroQuest, and he just goes, "The best thing about HeroQuest is the expansions. Except forget the expansions, just play more Heroquest. He's got like about he's got about 6 copies of Heroquest. I might even put the links in the show notes because it's absolutely fantastic. Paddy Smith reminded me of it again the other day, so I just had to stop there and then and just watch it because it's absolutely brilliant. Mechs versus Minions. Me and James played a big sessions of Mechs versus Minions.
Did you go further into it then?
Yes, we did. We even opened the box.
Oh, excellent! You got that far.
I got and opened the box. I'm not going to say what's in the box. And as I say, I joked on the Board Game Geek or the Board Game Spotlight group on Facebook and put a video up of me opening up the box. And inside there was
a never box.
And it was just me opening up the box forever.
Did you splice it with?
I spliced it with something else, and I'll let you see it because it was a.
Was it Schleven?
It was something like.
What's in the box?
Also been playing Ashes Rise of the Phoenixborne. If you haven't played Ashes Rise of the Phoenixborne, please play Ashes Rise of the Phoenixborne.
I don't like it.
I don't care. There's a
No, I played it. Played it with Scott.
Oh yeah, okay.
Scott's got a copy of it.
Oh, has
well.
he? Yeah.
And it was all right.
Yeah. The biggest problem with Ashes Rise of the Phoenixborne, and Colby, come and talk to me, mate. But the biggest problem with Ashes Rise of the Phoenixborne was Ashes Rise of the Phoenixborne not getting out to the distribution chain quick enough. It was hyped. It came out, and then after that, when people were looking for other characters to play. It didn't happen.
It wasn't there.
It wasn't there. There was disappointment. There was tears at the table. So that's what we've been playing. It's been quite a lot. And you've been playing your Ripiga role-playing game, which is coming to an end.
Maybe.
What do you mean?
I don't know.
What? You got the enthusiasm back. You continue.
It got all right again.
Whoa.
Just when I thought I was up, they dragged me right back.
Came in just like that. I've had enough. I've absolutely had enough of it. You can take your role-playing game and your grease-proof paper that you draw on, and you can... And I thought you'd had enough. But you're going to continue it now.
Yeah, we'll see how long this character lives for. If he dies and
then I'm off,
or
I'm away,
or if there's more Huffy Puffness happens.
Oh, don't say that. There's no Huffy Puffness. Much Huffy Puffness, a little bit of Huffy Puffness. What are we going to get off the shelf for the next time? Because I have got a lot of stuff, but I was thinking one of the PAX games.
Oh my god!
Yes.
No, well, we did get PAX before.
For Floriana, we did.
Played twice.
Yes, we did. What are we going to play next from the PAX range?
£40 game played twice.
I know, it's good. It's like a Chinese. What are we going to play? What PAX game are we playing?
Well, I've got PAX Parma.
Let's play that then.
I think it's called Parma.
We'll play it sometime.
Which is all about Russia and Britain fighting over Afghanistan.
Sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
I wonder what happened with that then.
The tribesmen won and kicked both nations out of it.
That's what happens. When you try and take a hard tank up a mountain, doesn't it work for you? And then Johnny Rambo turns up.
No, well, you see, you send in 2 British officers.
Yes.
In their spiffy red coats.
Yes.
And, and one of them will come back with his mate's head and and it'll be one of the best films ever made. The Man Who Would Be King. What a movie. A movie.
Is that Michael Caine?
It's Michael Caine and Sean Connery.
Can you do Michael Caine? That's no
You're
bait.
only supposed to blow the bloody doors off.
I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're talking about. It's a load of rubbish. Get up and get away. But that was when it's young Sean Connery, because young Sean Connery is different from old Sean Connery.
Yes,
so he's very speaking like this. What are you talking about? That's old Sean Connery. Young Sean Connery is lighter, and he's more clipped in the middle, in the beginning, and the end. And Michael Caine, he just sounds like he's ready to go. Come on then, I'm going to take you on.
Oh, man.
Such a good film.
Harry Palmer.
Harry Palmer. What else we're going to get to the table? We are going to try and play Abyss.
Abyss, yes, okay, we'll go for Abyss.
And we're going to try and play Formula D.
Formula D.
Formula D. Formula D.
Which is actually about racing cars.
Which is actually about racing cars, and it's not blankety blank at all. Bloodborne is hanging over me.
Bloodborne.
I have tried it a little bit.
What is it?
I think I need to play more of it. It is like Dark Souls. It's like the sister game. It's the card game, though.
And what I would love to get to this shelf,
yes,
or get to the table even.
Yes.
Well, I wouldn't mind it on my shelf too. Catacombs.
Ooh.
It's shipping.
It's shipping.
Ooh.
If it's here, we're just gonna play it, and we're just gonna do another episode of Catacombs because it deserves it. Because it'll be Catacombs and Castles.
Yeah.
So we have to talk about Catacombs and Castles.
Completely different game.
Yes, we do. It's a completely different game.
Utterly, completely different game.
Utterly, totally different game.
Mm.
Yes. So we'll be doing that. And then Catacombs Conquest will be appearing a couple of months after that. So we'll have to be talking about that. Do you know what I mean? I don't know about you when I saw the email, but I got super excited about stickers and wooden pieces.
Mm.
Yes. Can't wait to play it. Can't wait to be shockingly bad at it and end up, you know what I mean? It arrives on the end of October. It's on the bonfire by the 5th of November. Because I can't.
I really need to buy a Subutio or something to get you into the mindset.
Or Zooball. I've heard a game called Zooball.
Zooball?
Yeah, Duncan Malloy was on talking about it on GameWire with Bebo. Brittany, who's going to be, and he was. It's about Subutio. It's almost like it is Subutio, but it's with little animals and it's little animal discs. And we need to have a look at it. But it's out. It's Osprey Games. I think they were talking about it in the Staying In podcast. So I need to dig it out and have a look at it. So yes, totally. Catacombs is definitely coming off. Giving it a kick.
Giving it a kick.
Now, as we know, I continually get people on to talk about Kickstarter. But, however, as well as highlighting some things that potentially are going to be happening in the next couple of days, we should also be highlighting things which are potentially going to be happening at the end of this month into the beginning of next month, because those certain people are going to be coming on the show to talk about them. So if we start off with the people that we've already spoken to, who may or may not have episodes that have already been released to talk to us, talking, I don't know how to finish that sentence. We had Carla from Weird Giraffe Games on to talk about Stellar Leap. And that is a fantastic episode because Carla she was a lot of fun. She was a lot of fun to have on the show. So Stellar Leap is out on the 18th. That might have already passed by the time. Well, that might already pass by the time we actually get this aired. Because this is going to be weird because we're actually going to travel this episode back in time so it appears in the feed as episode 100, which is the way it's going, and taking over the rubbish message that was there before. So that is Stellar Leap, which is on the 18th. We also have a Champion of the Wild, Tom Clare. He's going to be his episode is going to be out in the next couple of days, potentially tomorrow, to coincide with his Kickstarter campaign. And he is also a lovely chap, and Champions of the Wild is like, what would happen if a giraffe took part in, say, like the high jump? Or what happens if a giraffe took part...
That'd be awful, they're not very good at jumping.
Well, what happens if a giraffe took part in the 100 metres? What happens if a giraffe then took part in, say, the javelin? And then it's, it's kind of like that. It's quite a socially party type game.
Okay.
So it's a case of, this is my animal, and this is the reason why I'm using it. So why would I use a gorilla for the shot put? It'd be fantastic. But then if I have to use, say, like the gorilla for the 100-metre swim, would he be as good? Probably not. We don't know if apes can swim. I'm pretty sure chimpanzees don't. I don't know if gorillas do. And so on and so forth. So it's kind of like that. It's a fun game. It's very social. It's a party game. It looks a lot of fun. So that episode will be out very, very soon.
I'm just checking Twitter there.
Yes.
Twitter says no.
Oh.
Gorillas don't swim.
Oh, they don't? All right. Well, that's pretty good. games that are coming to an end for people that we've had on. We've had Ed Jowett, who was on from Shades of Vengeance to talk about Era Balam, which will be finishing very soon. And also, now Boarding is also potentially finished by the time this episode comes out. The wonderful, fantastic Mr. Tim Fowers. But coming in October, we've got Mark McKinnon's Wreck and Ruin is finally coming out.
Ooh.
And that is a kind of a Mad Max-esque kind of battling across the wastelands to try and dominate kind of areas and stuff like that. And
you do like your apocalyptic future?
I do like a bit of an apocalyptic future. And in fact, there has already been a little bit of buzz around this game before it's taken off. I've seen Andy and Steve from Polyhedron Collider talk about it, and Andy says it's an insta-back as far as he's concerned. They've already played it and said it's fantastic. But we will be having Mark on the show, which is why we're mentioning it back now, because Mark is a lovely man. So he's coming back on to have a little bit of a chat about it. Super. And secondly, he is the founder of Druid City Games, Mr. James Hudson, who was on before to talk about the delightful Grim Forest. He's coming back to talk about their next follow-up game, which is coming out again in October, called Guardian's Call, which appears to be a card game, but James is going to be giving us all the details. James is a wonderful man who's built up his own community on Facebook called the Boardgame Spotlight. And in general, he just seems to be a top bloke. So those are kind of the Kickstarters that we're going to be kind of looking out for. If you want to find out more about those games, check out the episodes. They're all doing, certainly without checking. We shall have a couple of shout-outs.
Okey-dokey.
This is episode 100. Can you believe it?
Yeah, I can. We have mentioned it.
We have mentioned it, yes. I know, it's been going on. But we do want to give a special shout-out to, I guess, every guest that has come on and has helped us kind of make the show as big and as many episodes. Not kind of big as in well known, as in big as the number of episodes that we've had. Because everybody's been a joy to have on. Absolutely fantastic. Everybody.
Well, apart from that Richard guy.
That's me.
Oh, right.
But also there's people that we should be giving a shout out to, people that we think if you like us you should maybe give them a listen. The Musicians Podcast, presenters Matt, it's a show where he interviews musicians, and he's had folk like Newton Faulkner on. He gets really personal, and it's kind of lovely kind of life stories about people who are trying to make it in the music business, not your commercialised kind of guys of this world, but the guys that are just going out and gigging around Europe and how they deal with, family life and stuff like that.
So not your Miley Cyruses and your...
No. But it's a really, really good and interesting listen just to hear how much work a lot of these guys are putting in just to even get, the slightest bit of a break. It's fantastic. Blake Leaf Day, Getting Geeky with Gamer Leaf. Me and Blake have been talking back and forward. He is in the Americas, and obviously we're over here, but he's not too long starting out in his podcast. And he's doing a lot of interviews, he's doing a lot of chats, he gets his kids on, so it's a lot of good fun. It's like he tries to release at least like 2-3 times a week.
Ouch.
Yeah, but he's a lot of enthusiasm. And it's just worthwhile checking out if you're looking for something different. The family stuff's like adorable. He gets his littlest kids on there, and it's very, very cute, so it's worth a listen. Have to give a big shout out to the Staying In boys. Not because they've kept me in Star Realms, but also because they've generally been nice chaps. So that's Chris, Sam, Peter, and Dan. And Dan...
Never forget Dan.
Well, we're going to have to forget Dan, because Dan's missus is due. So their first child. So I think the last episode was potentially going to be his last episode for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. So life-changing. Yeah, so best of luck to you, Dan.
Welcome to high-pitched squealing and
it's not bad.
A whole load of nappies.
It's not bad.
It's not bad.
You just go down the pub for when the labour happens and
Exactly.
then turn up with cigars and say, look what I did.
Way.
That's how it works.
He was there for the important bit.
Couple of shout-outs. Michael May, Toucan Play That Game. He's on YouTube. He's a lovely guy. He does some fabulous work. He's just worthwhile supporting. He's consistently just is creating some really great stuff. The Broken Meeple, Luke Hector. Mm-hmm. Again, the boy's gone from podcast to doing videos, and he's doing videos and podcasts, and he's just done his top 100 games.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bassel's going to sue him.
I don't know. Maybe
Bassel's going to sue him.
You can ask him. You can ask Tom Bassel when he gets on the show. I know. I wouldn't say anything. And I guess on a sad note, the Mr. Trevor and Mr. Gary from Moviecide UK are hanging up their podcasting spurs after 250 odd episodes.
Ouch.
Because of life changes, which meant that the podcast can't continue. For those that haven't heard, Mass Moviecide UK is a podcast where they take a film and they basically talk about it. They've done recently the Fast and Furious season. They are horrifically bad people because every week they decide to give us a shout out on the show and then use it as an excuse to rib us by rolling a 20-sided dice and deciding whether to give us a nice shout out or give us a horrible one, questioning our ability to speak to the ladies.
And there's a 1 in 20 chance that it's the good one.
So that's so best of luck to Gary and Trevor and to their endeavours. They're not obviously disappearing together, but they're going to go kind of like different ways. Just a couple more. Monster Dear Monster, Cameron, Matt and Dave. Monster of the Week, Chris, Jeremy, who cover the Supernatural podcast. Monster Dear Monster is all about different monsters from different video games, films. So they do like Godzilla. They've done like the Bloodborne series of video games. It's very, very interesting. Got a shout out to my boys Paddy and CJ from Twin Humanities. Paul and Joseph from the CNC Geekcast. Two guys, and I've said this before, they cover films and both of them have got speech impediments. And that's their gimmick, and it's just a really, really good show. Short, snappy, 25 minutes, half an hour show. They pick a show.
Only we could do that.
I know. Oh, if only we could do that. And last but not least, a big quest for Magic and Steele. David and Mara and the gang are keep on going doing their D&D.
Excellent. Are you still having fun?
Yeah, they are.
Excellent.
It's a good cast. It's kind of like a family thing, and they kind of really found what they're doing and how they're doing it, and it's a lot of fun with what they're doing. Right, questions.
Well, if you liked it, you should put a ring on it.
Hey. So bad. Right, okay.
Tonight on dad jokes.
Tonight on dad jokes. A guy at work. He went away for
a dad joke. They put him away for it? Dear God.
A guy at work. He went away on holiday and he decided to turn up with his joke book from 2004, and it's different sections. And you think 2004? How bad could it be? But it's got sections. It's got an entire section entitled "Ethnic Jokes." I'm just like, okay, I'll just put that back in his.
It was a simpler, gentler.
Put that. It was it was only 10 years ago. I
know, dear God.
It's just like that. What questions? Okay, well, Nick Jones has decided to ask us all of the questions.
All of them. 42. There
I
we go. I've got the answer.
I asked what questions. It says tonight Colin is back and we record the full 100th episode for real this time. What questions do you lovely people have for us? And Nick has, oh my goodness, what you been up to? He says, what have you been up to? Not me. What have you been up to?
What have I been up to?
We just said what he's been up to.
faffing about.
Pretty much. Enjoying life. Not having to sit in front of me with a flipping mic in his face asking him what he's been up to. Did you miss everybody on the internet?
I did. I missed everyone.
No, you didn't. What's your favourite movie?
Especially Twitter.
You don't even look at this. What's your favourite movie?
Ooh. It used to be Leon when I was younger.
Yes.
But now it changes so fast.
What did you like recently?
What did I like recently? Guardians of the Galaxy really hit it on the nail for me.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2?
No, Volume 1 really hit it on the nail for me. Don't know what it was about that film. It really clicked. But there's been loads of great films over the years. I'm someone that changes their mind an awful lot, so
there you go. So the answer to that question is Guardians of the Galaxy, at the moment, could be changing.
Probably next week.
As little as that.
Oh, man. Oh, no. Now getting all these movies flooding into my head. So
there you go. Well, we'll keep
Bullet,
it at that.
Monsters. Oh, what a film.
Fantastic. I was watching Pacific Rim the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Pleasantly just enjoying it.
But just the only way to do it.
It's just a good film. I was really, really liking it. I've started collecting the Studio Ghibli movies.
Oh.
So I've got my...
It took me years to track down this film. There was a film when I was a little kid. I woke up and it was like, I don't know, 5 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
And I went through and I sat down in front of the TV and I saw 2 movies that night.
Yeah.
That just completely shaped what I loved as a little kid. And one of them, it turned out to be Laputa.
Castle in the Sky.
What a film.
That's next on the list. I
grieve every time I watch that.
One
it's just
a month. Just going to get them one a month. So I've got, My Neighbour Totoro.
Oh.
Yeah, I got Spirited Away.
Yep.
And what was the other one? What was the other one I got? Oh my goodness, what was the other one I got that I really, really liked? Ponyo. Just amazing films.
Don't watch Princess
Mononoke.
Yeah, that's just heart-rending. There's no point watching
Apparently, the Fireflies one.
No, don't watch that one either.
Is absolutely kind of like buckets of tears coming out your eyes. So there you go.
Kids surviving a nuke.
Yes. No, I'm getting Raymond Briggs when the wind blows.
Oh God, no, no. Oh, let's just watch Watership Down. Screw it. Her life's over.
Bright eyes burning like fire. 5 have found it, Hazel. Stuart Cullen, Fury AC, friend of the show, does his bit in the Scottish Sun.
Yeah.
Put us in there, which I figured it was over a year ago now that we were in the Scottish Sun. Do you know that?
Yeah.
Yay! In a little download section. It was lovely. For those heading to EGX this week, what cardboard should we try and play? Here's the link. So here let's have a look at this list from Mr. Stuart Cullen. He has said, the following tabletop games will be available to play during EGX. Demonstrators from the Esdevium, Carcassonne, Codenames, Colt Express, Dead of Winter, Dice Forge, Double Cortex, Timeline, Story Cubes, Galaxy Trucker, Legendary Fi-Fi, Pandemic, Secret Small World, The Captain is Dead, and Ticket to Ride. Well, I'm going to jump in and say, get on The Captain is Dead if you fancy being spanked up and down the spaceship, because it's fantastic. I'm also going to say Dice Forge, Dead of Winter. I think
I'm going to say you want nice, easy, sit-down, friendly games.
Yes. So what would
then
you do?
You want Carcassonne.
Yes.
You want Ticket to Ride. You want Captain is Dead.
Yes.
Small World as well. Really nice, easy, sit down, play games. Good. You want something more deep and interesting? Then you want, you definitely want Dead of Winter, or you want Legendary Firefly.
Depends how long you're going for. If you're going for a couple of hours, if you're going for an entire day, then Dead of Winter would be pretty good if you really fancy getting into it. If you're going to be there for like a couple of hours and you fancy a quick shot of something, even Codenames. Dice Forge isn't that long
it's
to
demonstrations play. As well, so you've got someone that knows the rules.
Somebody that knows the rules, which is no better. No, you're actually doing that wrong. Oh, I've been doing that wrong all my life. There's nothing worse than that. There's nothing worse than that than finding out a game.
I tried to play Game of Thrones board game.
Yeah.
At the LAN party I had a couple of days ago. Tried to sit down and play that, and it was like, I cannot remember the rules.
It's worse. It's worse. But hopefully this is going to be remedied when...
But it's a good game, because it won. So.
Oh, that's what I forgot to say. Yeah, rules. Dized. Mike Barnes that was on to talk about Dice, which is the digital app that helps you learn rules. It got funded after they appeared on the show. Now, I'm not saying that was directly due to us, but I am.
Because it wasn't directly due to us, it's directly due to you,
the
listener.
You, the listener, kind of going ahead and looking at backing it. Oh, Nick just keeps on going. He says,
we broke the four walls.
Does Colin listen to podcasts? No, not really. No.
Yes.
Right, okay.
I listen to political ones, which I shouldn't, because I get upset.
Also, Stuart says congratulations on the 100th episode. Thank you very much, Stuart. That's very, very kind of you. Is Colin aware there is a wolf named after him? I think he is.
Oh, I know.
No, he's not aware that there's a wolf named after him. Okay, in the Dungeons and Dragons game that I take part with, I adopted a wolf, and because Nick was going on about and keeps on going on about how often you appear in the show, I named this stunning wolf after you. So excellent. I've always got a Colin going about with me on our adventures. We've also now got an owl bear called Gladys.
Oh, you got an owl bear?
I got I rolled a 19 on animal husbandry with advantage, and I've now got entire control over an owl bear.
They're quite.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it's quite brilliant. Nick just goes on. Is there a particular popular game that Colin has never played?
Lots of them.
Tons. Where do you want to start?
I've never played Galaxy Trucker.
No, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Robot Rally.
No. What else? It's just that there's games coming out every month that I could say I haven't played.
But really popular ones.
Zombicide? Never touched the Zombicide. Never touched the Zombicide. Yeah. Haven't played Settlers of Catan.
I have.
Have you? I haven't touched it. I've played the digital version and that was enough.
Godwood?
George, you are naughty, Zippy. Is that enough questions? Wait. Okay. Wait, what does Colin think of the Richard is definitely a wizard episode? Nick, you're banned for life from ever getting involved in this show ever again. Okay, here's another question. John Cage from Polyhedron Collider.
Mm-hmm.
John and Steve and Andy, the Top Gear of board game podcasts. They've asked a question. You should give them a listen because they're all good fun. Steve was on quite recently. For those who have a relatively new, listen relatively infrequently, what is Colin's top 3 games? You're getting all the questions.
All the questions.
Because people are sick to death of listening to the sound of my voice. That's why.
Don't say that, man.
It's bloody true. What's your top 3 games?
Pixel Tactics.
Catacombs. That's like the zombie apocalypse question.
What do I put in as number 3?
What do you put in as number 3?
What do I take out to put in?
What do you put in? I'm just trying to think. Not Pax Perforiana, or would you have enough of that?
I've only played it a couple
Command
times.
and Colours, man.
Command and Colours has got to be there.
There you go.
There we go. Free.
Done.
Whew, we did it.
Easy. Boom. If you could listen to only one podcast for the rest of your days, who would it be? Oh my goodness, that's an incredibly difficult thing to do. I don't know. If I could listen to one podcast for the rest of your days, which would it be? John, I must admit that a show I would always listen to no matter what happened would be the Staying In podcast. John's not on the Staying In podcast, he's on Polyhedron Collider. It's a joke! Thick burn. Bants. No, of course I would listen to the Polyhedron Collider thing forever. Yep.
It just seems like a terrifying cycle of
these
poor people have to keep on doing the show day in, day out.
A desperate attempt to ask us to plug his show. If you could rid the gaming world of one game for each decade of podcasts you've made, which would you choose? So does that mean he wants us to rid the world of 10 games?
Monopoly. Monopoly
Really?
Glasgow.
Really?
Monopoly Star Wars. Monopoly Star Trek. Monopoly any version of Monopoly.
That's about 10. Rid the gaming world of one game, Magic the Gathering.
You don't like Magic, do you?
I just think it's overrated.
What?
It's just rubbish. They've got to the point where they're so desperate they've got to keep on putting out new versions every 3 months to stop people getting bored. No, that's not true. I can't think of a game I'd want to get rid of.
Monopoly.
Probably Monopoly.
One of us.
I think... No. One game. Well, that's a lot of different games. I can't remember. Is there a game I would want to get rid of?
Berserker. Oh my god, I hate that game.
Do you know what the other one?
Kingdom Builder. I hate that game as well.
Kingdom Builder's rubbish. I just remember playing Kingdom Builder and going, when is this going to end? Do you know what it's like? Do you know I had a better experience when I got both my toenails removed? Oh, such a bad...
Well...
It's not, it's incredibly dull.
The rules weren't explained to me very well, and that's probably
I remember the rules
hindered me quite badly for enjoying the game.
Oh, you need to do this. Well, why do I need to do that? Because I explained it to you. No, you didn't. You explained 10% of the rules and you left the rest of the rules to yourself. Quartermaster General, that 1914 one.
I don't hate it. It's just not...
It's just rubbish. It's just broken. In terms of the mechanics, I didn't like it at all.
You didn't like it at all?
No, I just kind of I went, what?
I wouldn't get rid of it, but...
It's not a Room 101. I mean, I'm not... Well, I suppose, get rid of the game world, just stick it in there and get rid of it. I just try to think, what else? I can't think of anything else. This is like one of these things... Because I only want to play games that I actually enjoy. There's very little games I kind of sat down and went, this is actually... I've just wasted... my entire evening kind of doing this.
Yep.
I didn't enjoy Rex, but I don't know if that was what happened at the time.
I think that was A, the group, and B, the game is very backstabby.
It's very, yeah.
Glad I convinced you to buy that and I didn't get it myself.
Oh, here we go. And John's final question is, what's your favourite thing about Talisman? The game.
I think the best thing about Talisman...
What's their favourite thing?
Is just after you or someone else defeats the final thing and the game's over.
I like the fact that I can use Talisman to prop up several other games. I can put Talisman on the bottom of the pile of other board games that I have, so it doesn't... It's the only one that gets crushed.
I think the best thing about Talisman is the Space Marine. If you get the Space Marine, it's a great game.
Is there a Spazza?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
You randomly get a Space Marine.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
It comes from back when GW, Fantasy and 40k was meant to be the one universe.
Do you know what? I think the best thing about Talisman is the fact that they're remaking Talisman and they're giving a new edition. That's the best thing, is that it's going to be in more people's hands at an affordable price. That's the best thing about it. John is daft about Talisman.
Oh, he enjoys it.
He loves Talisman.
Totally.
He's totally daft about it. You can hear him talk about Talisman on Polyhedron Collider when they eventually kind of let him on. So that's it, really. I think...
No, it's a game of its era, you know.
I think
it's very early GW because it's all completely luck based.
So there you go. I think that it managed to bring a lot of gamers on and keep them in the hobby.
Yeah, or introduce them to the hobby as well. You know, because the amount of people that came to board gaming from something like Talisman.
That's what you want.
Or Monopoly, and then found better games. Woo!
Monopoly. I think that's about it. I think this is episode 100. Nothing special.
No.
Well, it was, because it was you and me bringing it back on for another episode. And what's going to be happening from now on, now I'm going to put this on the tape, is that...
Just like we'd definitely be on in a fortnight.
Definitely. Third week of the month, every Sunday, third week of the month, there's going to be an episode with Mr. Colin and with me from now on. Regardless of if we played anything or not. We're just going to come on and talk.
Put these rules down.
It's a bold claim.
You know I don't play by your rules.
It's a bold claim. I'm a role bliker. I'm a heart bliker. But I guess it is time to... It's time to disparoo.
Mm-hmm.
So there's only a couple of things left to do. And I guess the thing is if you have listened tonight, and if you have liked what you've heard, then first of all, go out and tell other people, which is always nice. If you'd like to keep a track on what we're doing,
try and tell people in the sort of manner of, like an old black and white movie, run down, hello, Mr. Grayson.
Have you heard about this here? We're not wizards.
I don't know why I went Irish, but...
Just went Irish, I know. Have you heard about this here wizards show? Because it's really good about the cardboard.
And whenever you hear a bell ring, we're not wizards. Gets wings.
Oh, that's so good. But if you do want to keep an eye on what we're doing, then if you go on Twitter, you can follow us on We're Not Wizards. If you go on Facebook, you can find us on We're Not Wizards. If you go to Instagram, you can find us on We're Not Wizards. If you go to YouTube, because our lovely Podbean hosts, who host our podcast, what they do is they automatically throw our episodes up on YouTube for everybody to enjoy, which is always that is very, very nice of them. You can find us on all the normal podcast places, like Spreaker and Stitcher and Acast and Podknife. And if we're not turning up on your normal podcast listening place, then let us know, and we shall try and get it on the local podcast listening place, so you have a place to listen to when you do the podcast listening.
Yes,
absolutely. If you like what you've listened tonight and you decide that you want to not just kind of listen to us yourselves, but you want to tell other people about how you listen to us, if you go to Apple Podcasts and you maybe want to give us a review or you want to give us a rating.
Well, that would be nice.
That would be nice. Remember, if you do give us a rating or a review, don't give us a 10.
2 5s.
Don't give us a 10, because that will make us big-headed. But don't give us a...
2.
No, 1.
Okay.
Because that'll make us cry.
That will.
Give us a 5. Something in the middle.
Distinctly average.
Distinctly average, because we are distinctly average. And this, I usually but the person who has not been distinctly average, but I'm going to say is the people that have not been distinctly average is both of us.
Oh, that's nice.
It is. Well,
we've been below.
Because we've been below average for some time, and we're trying our best. If you'd like to get in contact with us, I guess this is a shout out for everybody who's thinking about doing some kind of campaign or anything from about November, December onwards. If you're listening and going, yes, but they do have well-known people on all the time. Are they going to welcome us with open arms? And the fact of the matter is, yes, we are. We are always open to having people on the show. So give us a shout. Send us an email, magic@we'renotwizards.com or...
.co.uk.
Yes! You nailed it! There's only 2 more things to do.
What's that?
Well, the first thing is to remember that we are many things, but we're not wizards, Mr. Christian. Are we wizards, Colin?
I don't think we are.
We are definitely not. And the second thing is to say goodbye. So, it is...
Oh, dear God.
What? So it is goodbye from the rather wonderful, the rather fantastic, the rather amazing Mr. Colin. Say goodbye, sir.
Goodbye, sir.
Or I'll hang you from the yardarm. And it's a goodbye from me. Remember, stay safe. Roll 6s.
Is it safe? Is it secret?
Don't you dare do that. Not on the 100th episode. Don't ruin it for everybody. That's a pain in the butt. How dare you, sir? But remember, stay safe. Roll 6s. Join us for the next 100 episodes unless we get bored and decide to do something else.
Yeah. Movie reviews.
Because there's nobody doing that. I've checked iTunes.
Nothing.
That's
it's completely open.
Nothing at all. I must stop using my computer in offline mode. I'm going to have a little drink. And then we have to say goodbye. But it's tradition, because it's 100th episode, we're going to do the goodbye song.
Okay.
So say goodbye, Colin.
Goodbye, Colin.
Goodbye. It's been 100 shows. Goodbye. Do I cry?
He makes eye contact all the way through this. It's quite disturbing.
100 shows. Goodbye. Say goodbye, Colin.
Cheers.
Bye.